What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super Deck profile. This past weekend, we were completely undecided on what we wanted to play. We had about 5 or 6 different random decks put together, and we made a last-minute choice to play something a little gimmicky, and we went all the way back to set 2 to find one of the worst leaders to play, the evil wizard Babidi. Now, the leader itself is pretty eh. On the plus side, when you play him in your leader area, you get to choose a Majin Buu sealed ball from your deck and put it in active mode in the battle area. So it comes out right away as soon as you start the game, before you even look at your hand, before mulligan, before life, all of that. It comes out immediately at the start. And he does awaken at 6 life. Now, he's a draw 2 leader, which I've gotten spoiled by the switch to energy to active mode leaders, but the draw 2 is pretty nice early on when you can awaken at 6 life. And then he awakens into Babidi, Creator of Evil. His activate main says, once per turn, choose one of your battle cards. It gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So you get to power up one of your battle cards every turn. In place of him going from 10,000 to 15, he stays 10,000 to 10,000. Normally I don't bother attacking with him unless I'm trying to KO like a smaller battle card, just because I don't feel like it's worth giving the opponent that life unless I'm trying to go extremely aggressive at them. And his auto says, once per turn, when your battle card attacks, draw 1 card and place up to 1 card from the top of your deck under the Majin Buu sealed ball. You don't have to. You can if you want to, but we also have other ways of getting the cards under the Majin Buu sealed ball in the main deck as well. First up, we have Babidi's favorite or least favorite pet, depending on what time in the series you ask him. We ran 4 energy boosted Majin Buu. Now, this is mostly a red deck, but we do have some blue sprinkled in for various effects, one of which is the Majin Buu. It's a nice turn 1 play that you can just draw a card, and it's Majin Buu, so it supports the theme of the deck. Up next, we played 4 Time Control Cronoa. She's basically the same thing as the Buu, just a few points weaker. And she's got deflect, so you can't hit her with counter plays. But when you play her, you draw a card, just like with the Majin Buu. The only difference is, since it's a black card, it doesn't matter what color energy you use to play her. And then, of course, she shuts down Shugesh and Pan from playing battle cards onto the board via their effects. Up next, we have Babidi's most loyal servant, Debora the Wizard's right hand. He's a 3-cost, 20,000 power that says, if this card is in rest mode, the opponent cannot attack Evil Wizard Babidi. That includes your leader. So, Debora was the original rest mode blocker. He was the original Vegeta, the original Bergamo. Now, the downside is he doesn't have barrier, and that kind of came back to bite us in the ass during the tournament. But he goes along with the theme really well. We could take him out to put in 4 of the, I believe it's Krillin from set 5, that basically does the same thing and has barrier, but I don't know, because he doesn't really fit the theme as well. Then up next, we play 2 and 2 of Dark Duo Babidi and Dark Duo Debora. So, Babidi is a 3-cost, 5,000 power with barrier that says, when you play this card, if your leader card is red, choose up to one of your red battle cards with 15,000 or more power and switch it to active mode. So you can attack with anything and then play the Babidi, put it back in active, and swing again. And that's really nice for some of the later game cards, but it doesn't really help until later game. And then Dark Duo Debora, he gains barrier if Babidi is in your battle area. And when you play this card, choose up to 2 cards in your opponent's hand and send them to their warp. And when he leaves the battle area, your opponent adds all cards from their warp, sent to their warp with this card's skill, back to their hand. And it's a nice little gimmicky, combo, but it just didn't really work out too well. I never really got to play them much together. I did play the Debora a bit when I had nothing better to play, to just kind of, you know, take a few cards out of my opponent's hand and then just leave him in active mode so that he couldn't be attacked and then get their cards back. And then same thing with Babidi. Like, Babidi got played here and there, but never really at the same time. And he's only good to play later in the game due to his ability. Otherwise, we just don't have a lot of targets that we actually want to switch back to active mode to attack with. One red target I would like to switch back, however, and probably one of my favorite cards in this deck, we ran 4 Umbral Blade Debora. He's a 5-cost, 25,000 with double strike, and when you play this card, if you have Evil Wizard Babidi in your battle area or leader area, for the duration of the turn, he gains plus 10,000 and dual attack. So he's coming at you with 35,000 and doing 4 damage, or 40,000 if you used Babidi's ability on him, which was always the case for me. 40,000 coming at you, and even if you don't attack their leader, if you attack a battle card, you're gonna fucking destroy that battle card unless they have a lot of stuff to combo or they just straight up negate. If they negate the first one, well, you got a second chance to try and do it again. But that card just hits so hard, and I like the card. It fits perfectly with this leader. Up next, we ran 3 Time Patrol Trunks. This was mainly so that we could just fish through our deck, see what we wanted, so we could see what cards we were going to get, maybe put one on top we didn't care about to go under Majin Buu's Sealed Ball. So if it's a card we wanted, we could leave it on top and we could draw into it. If we weren't awakened yet, we could choose to put it on the top, to put it on the Sealed Ball, or put it on the bottom in case we just didn't need it at all. Good overwhelm card that doesn't require energy to play, and just gets you a little bit of deck thinning and a little bit of searching for pieces that you want to see. However, Tribal Debora is not the only theme to this deck. We have a second play strategy that we can use, and that we did use quite a bit during the tournament as well. Starting off with 1 Majin Buu Sealed Ball. There is 0 reason to ever play more than 1 since it comes out at the start of the game, and it has an energy cost of 10, and you're never going to play another one. Once per turn, when the number of cards on this card reaches 5 or higher, place this card in the drop area and then choose 1 Majin Buu revived from your deck and play it. And now the easiest way to get 5 cards under the Sealed Ball is, of course, you can use the leader's ability, but that's only 1 card once per turn. And with the release of the World Martial Arts Tournament, we got an extra utility to go ahead and speed that process up, which is Tainted Power, Spopovich, and Yamu. It's a 3-cost, 15,000. When you play this card, choose up to 1 card in your battle area and place up to 5 cards from the top of your deck under this card, or under the chosen card. So that allows you to basically activate the ball at any time that you choose. And with that, it's a lot easier because you just have to play this card. Whereas we had the 4-drop Majin Vegeta that would place cards under the Sealed Ball until you hit 5, but you had to KO a battle card with it. And this is just a so much easier way to do it. There's no way they can get around it shy of Bloodlust, and it's just a nice cheap tech that you can play to go ahead and set up for release of Majin Buu Revived. Good old classic set 2 Union Force card. He's a 10-cost, 20,000 power, but you're only going to play him via the Sealed Ball. He has double strike, and when you play this card with the skill of Majin Buu Sealed Ball, you inflict 1 damage to the opponent's life. So you get 1 damage in for free. You can swing with double strike. You can give him a power boost with the Babidi leader as well. And I like this card because it is a free double strike attacker, decent power, but since he is a 10-drop Majin Buu, he is a perfect target for the ultimate evil Majin Buu. Which is a 7-cost, 30,000 power that you EX evolve for 1 blue energy and discard 2 cards from your hand in the drop area to place him on top of a Majin Buu with an energy cost of 5 or more. Majin Buu Revived has a total of 10. And he has Triple Strike, and when a card evolves into this card, you switch it to active, and it gains 30,000 power for the duration of the turn. So the idea is to bring out the Majin Buu revived, burn your opponent for a damage, swing with Double Strike, maybe combo a little bit, try and get that Double Strike in, and then evolve into Ultimate Evil and swing for a even bigger Triple Strike. And if that's not enough, then you place a second one. We ran 4 for a reason, just to be able to dump them all down together and just keep gaining 30,000, restanding, swinging for Triple Strike. Then, because we do run the Ultimate Evil Majin Buu, we do need a little bit more blue splashed in the deck besides him and the energy boosted Majin Buu. So of course we have 4 Senzu Beans. Not only can we charge them for blue energy, but it's also just a really good card to play if you have any blue in your deck at all. Then, because of that, we also run 4 Whis' Coercion. It's our negate. It's also another blue card we can charge if we do not actually need it. And, of course, this may stay in, or this may end up getting replaced with the new Afterimage card that we're getting in Set 5. Up next, we have our Super Combo, Divine Aid Vados. Of course, this is going to be the one we stick with until Set 5 releases, and then we may put Bulma in, if we decide to keep the Trunks in, or we may even take the Overwhelm out of the deck and put in 4 of the Sparking the Master Roshi Super Combo. So we got options there, but of course for now, I'd say our only option is Vados. You could also run Giru, but it's the exact same card, so it really doesn't matter. And then lastly, for a bit of extra tech, we ran 4 Kaabas Awakening. It was a really nice little combo card to run in the deck, especially with the leader only at 10. And your opponent will attack with their leader with a 15k, or, you know, just whatever. And just not combo, and then you drop Kaabas Awakening, and then you're 1,000 points above them for only 1 card. Really comes in handy a lot of the time, especially all over this weekend. It was a great card to play. It's alright offensively, but just defensively to be able to out-combo your opponent by playing 1 less card than you normally would. That's what makes the card really good, in my opinion. Unfortunately, it only targets red cards, but, you know, half the battle cards in the deck are red, the leader's red, so it's definitely worth playing in this particular deck. Up next for the side deck, of course, you know we played 2, the Masked Saiyan, the Mysterious Warrior. 5 costs 20,000. You play him for 1 energy and Overwhelm 5. He's got Double Strike, and when you play him using Overwhelm, you choose any number of your opponent's battle cards without blocker that add up to 5 or less energy and send them to the warp. It's a fantastic card to just get rid of your opponent's cards, especially if you're playing against something like Announcer or Hercule, and, you know, something that just plays a bunch of smaller guys, veggies in particular too, and you can just start, you know, warping away all their guys. And the best part is, since it warps them, instead of sending them to the drop, it doesn't fuel their Overwhelm any, and doesn't fuel any cards that actually work around the drop area as well. Then up next, we ran 3 Burst Energy Super Saiyan Bardock. He's a 4 cost 20,000 that you Overwhelm for 1 energy. And when you play this card using Overwhelm, it gains 10,000 power for the duration of the turn and can attack battle cards in active mode. That is exactly what he's here for, is to attack cards in active mode. Sure, you can swing for 30,000 at your opponent's life, and I have done that before, but mostly he's there to be able to take out cards that your opponent wants to protect and leave in active mode. It's also really nice to get rid of blockers that your opponent is kind of trying to hold on to wait for the right time to play them. However, if you really want a card that's going to have a high power output to just swing at your opponent's life, then you're better off with Meara, Creator Absorbed. We ran 2 of these. It's a 30,000 with Overwhelm for 1 energy, and it has Deflect as well, so it can't be hit with Crusher Ball or with Cold Bloodlust. And we ignore the first auto because we are not playing it with Union. The second auto is the one that takes precedence, and is when this card attacks, it gains plus 5,000 power for each card in your warp, and that number can add up pretty quick, and since he's already at 30,000, you're going to be hitting your opponent for a lot of damage. Then, because it was still in the side deck that I was working with, and it's also a good card in general, we ran 2 Haru Haru Attacker Majin. She's still really good against green decks like Androids, the random brawly here and there. And then with yellow, of course, you've got your lineage, you got your Frieza, stuff like that. We never use her ability to mill cards off the top of our deck. We've never really needed to. But we do like the auto for when you play her. If your opponent's leader is green or yellow, you get to restand 4 of your energy. So basically, she comes in as a free crit attacker. And if you had 4 or more energy during that turn, then you actually have an extra energy that you can play with as well, which is really nice. Then we have one of the more controversial cards in the side deck. I had a few people asking why it wasn't in the main deck, and it's Glory Obsessed Prince of Destruction Vegeta. Attacking active battle cards isn't really something that is absolutely needed, and while he is the Majin form of Vegeta, and he would fit the Babidi theme, it just didn't fit the Debora theme that we had going. Initially, I was just going to have the Majin Buu revived in there as like, oh, get your opponent to 1 and then pop the ball, and then Buu comes out and burns him for that last life. So it wasn't until later on that I was like, holy shit, we could play Ultimate Evil on top of this, and it'd be a quicker way to be able to just get him out automatically. So with this card, it was just kind of in the side deck in case I thought we needed it. In case there was a lot of active battle cards I thought we might need to take care of, but we never ended up needing to play it. The Bardock just seemed to get the job done on its own. And our last side deck tech, to me, I think is a really good option, especially if you are running some blue in a deck, and it's Group Leader Pilaf. He is such an underrated card in my opinion. When you play this card, you choose 1 keyword skill of the attacking card and negate it for the duration of the turn. You can use it to get rid of triple strike off of a battle card. You know, anything that's going to come in and just totally wreck your life. And Pilaf just is a good counter to say, no, granted, we're not negating that attack. Now, we really had a lot of fun with this deck during the tournament. I'm not going to lie. It was just a really fun deck to play. The leader is a little abnormal, but the deck itself was really fun. Round 1, we played against Goku's Lineage. Game 1, we actually got ourselves down to 1 life, and our opponent got off the secret rare Goku Jr. from the set, and I had nothing I could do to really be able to stop it. And they swung at me. Luckily, they didn't hit 5 different Goku's Lineage cards, so we didn't get burned for the 2 damage that we didn't have in our life. And then we were able to actually out-combo the damage as well by 1,000 because of that Kaabas Awakening. The card is gimmicky. It is technically a -1, but at the same time, you're using 1 less card to be able to combo out of taking a damage, having a card KO'd, or dealing your damage. Just because of that card. And that's one of the places where that card proved itself. We survived that attack and then proceeded to kill them on the next turn. Round 2, we ended up playing against our teammate running Baby. He was still running the set 4 Baby leader because no one in our area has bought draft boxes. So no one in our area has any of the draft leaders. And of course the 2 best ones are Baby and Krillin. So he was playing with the old Baby leader, and we had to play around the abilities a little bit, and I kind of played my cards out of order, out of the order that I should have played them in. And so I ended up with a big misplay, lost game 1. I actually had game on game 1 as well. My opponent was tapped out, was at 6 life, and all I had to do was drop both of my Ultimate Evil Majin Buus that I had in hand, swing for triple strike. That would have put him down to 3 life, and he wouldn't have been able to awaken to be able to untap those energy until my next attack, in which case he would have already missed the counter step and wouldn't have been able to stop that last attack from wrecking him. But we did make up for it in game 2 and 3. That Majin Buu just came in so handy, and just being able to rip your opponent apart with that extra 30,000 every time is just, it's so good that I want to take this deck, and I feel like this deck almost should have been 2 different decks. I feel like there should have been one more dedicated towards Debora specifically, and using the Babidi to restand your battle cards and stuff like that. and having one set to just focusing on the Buu sealed ball, getting out Buu, getting out other Buus, and then just over and over again evolving into Ultimate Evil for that extra triple strike every turn. I think that's kind of the direction I should take this deck. The Tribal Debora stuff was fun, but more often than not, we ended up going for the Buu. Although against the lineage opponent, we did not get the Buu off because we ended up drawing into all 4 of the Majin Buu revived before we ever drew into a Yamu and Spopovich. So the 5-drop Debora ended up being our main focus, and going in with 40,000 double strike dual attack is just, that's a lot of damage coming at you. But so we did take first place with this deck, and it was a lot of stupid fun. I don't actually know that it would be super competitive to be able to play. Maybe if we worked out some of the kinks, took out some of the Babidi Deck stuff, and like I said, maybe focused more on the Majin Buu aspect, then there could be a lot more that we could do with it. We got a lot of good defensive options, like with the Kaabas Awakening and the Senzu Beans, and also we will have a lot of support with set 5 with the Krillin that will replace the Debora wall, and we've also got After Image, which not only is going to give you a ridiculous boost, but if you can also KO some of your opponent's weaker battle cards with that negative 10k. So, but if you guys enjoy this deck profile, if you like Babidi, or you liked the idea of a pseudo-tribal Debora Babidi deck, make sure you hit that like button down below for us. You know, we appreciate the support, and we appreciate all of our subscribers as well. We're over 1,250 now, which is just fantastic. You guys are still killing it with the Dragon Ball support. It's going to be a little bit before we can start doing our Friday spoiler videos again. There's not really anything to spoil. I could do a video on the SPRs, but I know most people have already seen what the SPRs look like, and there is the secret rare still that has not come out yet that we could do a video on and discuss, so we'll probably just do all of that in one video. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get the frick out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.